All-time record in favor of Shelby, though, 23-17. Steve Onosorge was at this one and has the story.
The last time the Shelby drums were heard on a football field, the Golden Lions were the 2A state champs. Time to start all over again.
Let's get it. It's our time now. It's our time now.
But the Freedom Patriots always seem to give Shelby fits.
Let's go. Right baby.
But after a great first series on defense, all the Patriots gave them was a gift, a 15-yarder to keep the drive alive. And Preston Roseboro makes it count, going around left side, and he stretches into the end zone. Shelby up 7-zip. Freedom's offense looked like it would get it back. Earl Jefferson struggles for the extra yards. But then quarterback Chris Markham mishandles the snap. Where's the ball? There it is. It's in the hands of Arsenio Parks. They're not going to get him. The extra point was no good, but Shelby's up 13-0. That will drive a coach crazy. But this'll make him feel better. Taylor Smith around right side. He's in the end zone. Freedom's on the board. And Freedom's defense was picking it up too, except for that first quarter drive. Shelby's offense went nowhere. Second half score still 13-7. Freedom's on the move. And check out this run by Josh McGalliard. They've got him pinned in. No, he cuts back. They're not going to get him. Score it. The extra point puts Freedom up by 1. Then on the kickoff, Preston Roseboro, he mishandles it. The ball is loose. Freedom's got it. Leads to this 37-yard field goal by Colin Taylor. Freedom extends its lead. Shelby needs a spark. And just when it looks like Freedom will get more points, the field goal is blocked. Quavelis Murray picks it up. He's rumbling downfield. He's not going to go all the way. 2 plays later, Preston Roseboro's got the ball. Hey, he wants to make up for that fumbled kick. He does. 47 yards, and Shelby is back on top. And if you really want to make up for a fumbled kick, here's what you do. Preston Roseboro at the 2. Get a hold of that ball now. And he makes a couple of moves. Yup, he's turning on the afterburners. Only one man can get him. No, he doesn't. 98 yards. Touchdown. And from there on out, Shelby just smothered the Freedom Patriots. The spark became a fire and a 39-17 win. Picking up where you left off?
One step, that's all it is.
And a pretty good step at that. At Shelby High School, Steve Onosorge for Football Friday Night.
Back down south of the border.
The 2006 Honda Clearance.
Thanks for stopping by this half hour for Football Saturday's Game of the Week. I'm David Allen. The Crest Chargers were 2-0 heading to Shelby on Friday night to take on the 2-0 Golden Lions.
Blanton Memorial Stadium, Pearlie Allen Field Friday night. Thanks to C19 TV for the video footage of this one as Crest taking on Shelby. And in the first quarter, it's Tosh Toms. Gets through the initial line of scrimmage and down the sideline he goes. Long run for Toms, but it would be nullified due to a penalty. Chargers would have a hard time with the penalties in the early part of this ball game, and the Crest Crazies, not much to cheer about early in the ball game. Jordan Robinson back to pass. He is picked off by Preston Roseboro. The first of 3 interceptions in the first half for Robinson. Daryl Montgomery for the Golden Lions taking over with a scoreless ball game. Finds sophomore halfback Larry Raper in the flat. Raper gets it down to about the 7-yard line. And on the very next play, the bus, Arsenio Parks takes it in for the touchdown. Tyler Rabb's extra point was good, and Shelby led Crest 7-0. The Charger faithful and a big crowd, I do mean on hand Friday night, probably 6,000-7,000 to watch this one. Nice connection from Robinson over the middle to Bruce Smith in between a couple of the defenders. Robinson is going to go to the air again. Back to throw. Hangs it up for the corner on 4th down and long, but nobody home except Calvin Brown for the Golden Lions. And Coach Chris Norman, despite the early lead, has a few words for the officials there. Montgomery back to pass, finds Raper again. Nice yardage here. This would be an 18-play, 90-yard drive, and watch Parks as he gets it to the outside and takes a couple of Chargers to haul him down. It would be a few plays later, though, that Parks would take it in from a couple of yards out, and Shelby would take a 14-0 lead into the locker room.
We'll be back with second half highlights and scores from our other games right after this.
As Chargers come out in the third quarter trying to establish the run game, and they would. Tosh Toms over the left side. Nice hard running there. That would set up a Ryan Black touchdown run as he gets it in the right corner, and it's 14-7. Shelby's lead cut in half. A reminder, this game will be brought to you on C19 all through the week. Check your local listings. Arsenio Parks, 118 yards on the night, just barreling for tough yardage there. Watch this play. Daryl Montgomery gets out of a tackle and then it's going to find Larry Raper. He's so wide open, the camera doesn't even get him. In for the touchdown, blown coverage there, and Omar Porter sitting on the fence on this one as the Golden Lions led it 21-7, and then Aaron Smith's going to find the loose football in the backfield. Maurice Gillette can't believe what the Chargers are doing on the field as the Golden Lions trying to put this one out of reach. The defense after Jordan Robinson for the sack there, Kenneth Curley and company, and the Charger faithful just can't believe what's going on. Back to pass Robinson. One last-ditch effort for the Chargers. Heaves this one down the field. Roseboro, his second interception of the ball game. It would be the fifth turnover by the Chargers. And at this point, Shelby was just about ready to close the deal, and it would be Arsenio Parks once again just pulling his way for big yardage, and Shelby goes on to 3-0 on the season. The Golden Lions will travel to Lincoln next week, a 21-7 winner over Crest. Burns over Ashbrook on Friday night, 46-41. Lance Camp breaks the county passing record as he passes Troy Goss, and Forest View sticks it to Kings Mountain, 48-21 the final.
That'll do it for this edition of Football Saturday's Game of the Week. Join us next half hour for Alex Caban and the Weekend Review in Espanol. For Football Saturday's Game of the Week, I'm David Allen.
Is ready to go. Langston Wirtz was at the Charlotte Catholic game tonight, and if you've got a question for Langston, email him now to us at FridayNightBlitz.com. He may just answer it on the show. What's not in doubt, plenty of fast-paced, exciting highlights. They're coming up on the Friday Night Blitz next.
What's more American than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a tall glass of milk? For 12 million Americans with food allergies, just one bite or a sip of such foods can be life-threatening. The Food Allergy and Anaphylaxis Network and Virus Pharmaceuticals invite you to be part of Walk for Food Allergy, moving toward a cure. Join us September 16th at the Mooresville Recreation Department in Mooresville, North Carolina. Contact FAN at 800-929-4040 or foodallergy.org.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by
Toyota of Lake Norman, located off I-77, exit 23.
George, there's an echo in here. There's no agitator. How does it work?
Oh, it's brand new technology, Joey, and it works great.
Introducing the wide-open Cabrio from Whirlpool. There's room to wash 3 baskets of laundry in a single load and can dry an average load in under 30 minutes. More laundry, less time.
And less is better, right, George?
See the new Cabrio line from Whirlpool, now at H.H. Gregg.
Hundreds of styles, thousands of fabrics, in a size that's just right for you. Come to Bassett's Anniversary Sale and save 10% and more on furniture that's perfect for you. Now through September 10th, customize pieces for every room in your home at Bassett and enjoy savings of 10% and more throughout the store. Plus, make no payments and pay no interest for 12 months. But hurry, Bassett's Anniversary Sale ends soon.
You know, at Bob Evans, we believe that good meals are like good people. You want to spend a little time with them. So come on in and enjoy our new hearty knife and fork sandwiches. All your Bob Evans favorites like mashed potatoes, stuffing, and slow-roasted pork loin piled high on thick grilled toast topped with gravy. And there's turkey and meatloaf starting at just $5.99. Sandwiches you'll definitely want to know on a knife and fork basis. New knife and fork sandwiches only at Bob Evans.
Toyota Avalon drivers are known for making smart decisions. They never splurge for luxury features like heated front seats or wood and leather trim. They know it all comes standard. They don't look for power in shiny ornaments, not with 268 wild horses under the hood. They expect their money to work as hard as they do. That's why they choose to drive the luxurious Toyota Avalon. Now get 3.9% financing for 60 months on all new Toyota Avalon models. Toyota, moving forward.
You can dominate, you can dominate, we all can dominate. Start to roll it around right now.
It's time for the Friday Night Blitz, presented by Carolina Chevy Dealers.
All right, Coach Tom Brown, always on it, and welcome to the Friday Night Blitz. I'm Ira Cronin. We're set to go for a full 30 minutes of highlights and analysis. Langston Wirtz is here from The Observer to take your questions. We'll talk about everything. Just email them to FridayNightBlitz.com. Scores are on the bottom line. Let's get things started tonight with a bang as Cleveland County neighbors Shelby and Crest renewed their rivalry tonight at Shelby High School. Let's check it out. We'll pick things up in the third quarter, 14-0. Shelby leading, and the Chargers looking at 3rd and goal on the 5. Ryan Black punches it in. Chargers are on the board 14-7, but the Golden Lions roar back. Daryl Montgomery is going to dance around defensive end Marquis Husky. And, of course, young quarterbacks always like looking downfield no matter how long it takes. He lets it fly, and it's caught by Larry Rapper for the touchdown, 21-7 Shelby. Crest with the ball now, running the no huddle, trying to get back in it. Tosh Toms on the 14-yard run. That would set up this next play. Ryan Black on the run again, but trouble. Can't hold on to the rock. Shelby recovers it, and that's about the story of the night. Shelby goes on to win this one 21-7 over Crest. Now the Lincolnton Wolves are off to a 2-1.
We have saved the best for last. Crest at Shelby. Does it get any better than that? The past few meetings in this rivalry have made some classics, including last season when Shelby won 21-17. When it's a big game like this, when it's all out, we send Steve Onosorge. He was there, and he has the highlights.
Shelby Crest is one of the biggest non-conference games of the year. The biggest this year in Cleveland County. Let's go! Almost too big to describe. Let's go, buddy! But not too big for
Football Friday night, yeah!
Even the refs were excited. And in front of a sitting room only crowd, the Crest Chargers had control of that first quarter. But it doesn't help if you don't score, and hurts a lot when Preston Roseboro picks off this pass for Shelby. The Lions ran just 4 plays in the first quarter. This was one of them. Larry Raper with the reception and the run. He gets down deep. Next play, there's Arsenio Parks. He gets into the end zone, standing up. The Chargers were feeling a little heat.
It is steaming in here.
But they kept fighting. Ouch! Ryan Black took that hit. This time takes a pitch. It's payback time. Breaking tackles. Look at this run and stretches into the end zone. We're tied. No, wait. There's a penalty. Mistakes like that hurt Roy Kirby's team all night long. And that would have been tying touchdown drive ends in an INT. The Shelby offense got a bit more time on the field in the second quarter, put together a nice drive. They cap it off with who else? Arsenio Parks. He scores again. Though down 14 points, the Crest Crazies weren't worried.
Let's go, Crest!
But the Chargers kept making mistakes. This was turnover number 3 in the first half. It did not lead to a Shelby score, but it sure didn't help the Charger cause. But as the Shelby faithful cheered, you knew it was coming. The Chargers went to work and put a drive together in the second half. And when Ryan Black scored, no penalty this time, Chargers were within 7. And the Crest defense stepped up. Momentum seemed to be going their way. But it only takes one mistake. Well, maybe 2. Missed tackle here. And guess what? Larry Raper is all alone. Shelby's up 21-7. Crest tried to get back in it, but a fumbled pitch here. Shelby's ball. And how about turnover number 5? Another interception. This one seals the deal. Shelby wins and gets the bragging rights.
It's beautiful, man. I love it. The Golden Lions, yeah!
Shelby wins 21-7. At Shelby High School, Steve Onosorge for Football Friday Night.
Always some great games in Cleveland County. You know, Crest, this is their first loss. They're now 2-1, but Shelby looking good, trying to repeat as state champs. They were great last season, looking good so far. 5 turnovers. That defense looking good.
Yeah, Roy Kirby, he'll bounce back.
They're at Kings Mountain next week.
You have certain teams around the area, they have a certain character about them, and they have the coach that'll get them that character, get the most out of their character. So we'll see Crest a little bit later on, and we 2 teams probably headed to the playoffs before you know.
Oh, absolutely. They will.
Just to update one score. Burns called in. Burns was a winner 46-41. We reported 46-34. What happens sometimes is people jump the gun and they get a late touchdown added in there, so make sure the game's over before you call in the score. We do appreciate it. We had a lot of people calling in the scores tonight, and we thank you for that. All right.
Thanks for stopping by this half hour for Football Saturday's Game of the Week. I'm David Allen. Both Brevard and Shelby were undefeated and ranked in the top 5 in the state 2A poll coming into Friday night as the Golden Lions hosted the Blue Devils.
Take over to Blanton Stadium, Pearlie Allen Field on Friday night as the Shelby Golden Lions 4-0 on the season and ranked number 1 in the state 2A poll. Come on the field. Brevard in town for a good matchup between 2 Western North Carolina powers, and early in this ball game it was Arsenio Parks for the Golden Lions, banging off the left side and just carrying Blue Devils inside the 20-yard line, but on the option play, Daryl Montgomery would pitch it back to Larry Raper. The ball would get free, and Brevard would have it to stop the initial drive of the ball game. But Brevard on his first possession, bad snap on the punt. Nathan Norman in the back of the end zone, pushed out of bounds. It's 2-0 Shelby. After the free kick, the Golden Lions take advantage. Larry Raper from 2 yards out, and it's 9-0 Shelby, and it looked like the Golden Lions might run away and hide. But Brevard would hang tough. Here's Preston Roseboro trying to get Shelby going and more points, but Shelby's drive would stall. Brevard kicks one right before the half, and it's 9-3 at the break.
The second half highlights and scores from our other games.
Dominating the first half of play, but only leading by 6. Shelby came out ready to go in the third quarter, and Larry Raper breaks one down the right sideline, 59 yards. He pulls up there at the 20-yard line, but that would lead to Daryl Montgomery. He's going to fool us just a bit as he fakes it into the midline, and then Montgomery making people miss in the secondary, in for the score on a 21-yard scamper. And Shelby led it 16-3, and then it would be the Golden Lion defense. Look at the play there by Montgomery and McLam to shut down the Robinson. And then on 4th down, the Golden Lions stuff it. Parks making the stop. Then watch the play right here. Big man for Brevard, says Raper. Go down hard right there. One of the few bright spots on the night for Brevard defensively because the Golden Lions were making the plays. Mark Williams, Aaron Smith, Shuntrey Smith on the stop right there. Corey Brooks on the blitz and the sack of D.T. Miller. And then Daryl Montgomery is going to hand it off. The ball's going to come loose. And Brevard in business, trailing by 13. But that Golden Lion defense would come up big yet again. Stuffing Brevard. They would try a long field goal, but it's going to come up short. And Shelby would still lead it by 13 at 16-3. And then Montgomery finds Roseboro. Beautiful throw and catch, and Preston is off to the races. They'll not catch him. 85 yards on the play. That would give the Golden Lions a 20-point lead at 23-3, and at that point, Shelby would just set loose on defense. Here's Mark Williams and company. Corey Brooks in on the stop, and then with Corey Essenberg back to pass, it's going to be Williams and Lanston Tanyee sacking him and finishing this one out. Shelby wins over Brevard 23-3. The Golden Lions now 5-0 will host North Meck next week. Holy cow, how about the Burns Bull?
Thanks for stopping by this half hour for Football Saturday's Game of the Week. I'm David Allen. The Shelby Golden Lions were riding high and 5-0 heading into homecoming on Friday night as they took on North Mecklenburg.
If I've said it once over the years, I've said it 100 times. If the pile is bad, the Golden Lions might be in trouble. And, buddy, that pile was bad. The Golden Lions coming out flat on homecoming, and The North Mac Vikings trying to take advantage. A big hit from Shuntre Smith right there on Anthony Wiggins, but Wiggins would lead the Vikings down the field on that first series. He'll get the call 3 straight carries and gets a first down here, but after taking up about 8 minutes off the clock, the Vikings would go for it on 4th down, and Coach Brad Taylor looking on as the Golden Lions defense trying to come up with a stop. It would be Wiggins again, but this time the Golden Lions are up to the task. They stop him on 4th down, but Shelby's offense couldn't get anything going. The Vikings would get the football back, and on 4th down, deep in their own end, they would punt it away. Takes a bad hop on Larry Raper, and the ball is loose. North Meck would come up with it. And for a few minutes in the late first quarter and early second quarter, it would be a turnover fest. Ball's going to come loose from Adden, the fullback right here, picked up by Mark Williams for the Golden Lions, but a couple of plays later, Shelby would give it right back. Donovan Gidney in there for the injured Arsenio Parks, coughs up the football. North Mac has it. And late in the first half, it was still a scoreless football game. That is until this play right here. Bobby Murray over the middle to Josh Yost, 27 yards for the touchdown. The extra point was good, and North Meck led it 7-0. And defensive coordinator Lance Ware looking on, hoping that the offense could get something going. Howard Thompson all day to throw as he's back to pass, decides to tuck it under and run, and he is hit right there by Woody Woodley. Just jacked him up, and North Mac led it at the half 7-0.
We'll be back with second half highlights and scores from our other games right after this.
S&R Auto and Cycle Sales is Shelby's #1 quality pre-owned car and truck center. Watch as we scan the lot. You'll see our large selection of economy to luxury cars, trucks, motorcycles, and buy here, pay here vehicles. Everybody rides at S&R. We have new inventory arriving daily and financing arranged on the lot. We also have a detailing shop open to the public. So get red-hot deals at S&R Auto and Cycle Sales, 417 South Post Road, or shop with us online at srautosales.com.
If you haven't been to Hendrick Appliance, Shelby's largest appliance store, come visit our showroom. We have the best kitchen appliances from refrigerators, ranges, over-the-range microwaves, and dishwashers. The best-selling washers and dryers, including the new Whirlpool Cabrio with the largest washer capacity on the market. We also have a huge selection of scratch and dent appliances with tremendous savings and 90 days, same as cash. All this and more at Hendrick Appliance, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Congratulations, Casey Wilson, the Shelby High School 2006 homecoming queen. Second half action now for Shelby. Arsenio Parks getting in there. He missed the first half with that ankle injury, but he gets a first down for the Golden Lions there. Daryl Montgomery also set out the first half, but he's in stride with Larry Raper, but they cannot connect on that play right there. Late in the third quarter now, Shelby trying to get something going offensively. Montgomery to David Royster. That would be a first down, but the Golden Lions would stall, and they would put that defense back out on the field and hope to get a big play, and it would come in the form of the special teams. On the third punt after penalty twice, the Golden Lions get the big play they needed in the fourth quarter. Daryl Montgomery down the sideline on the punt return, sets the Golden Lions up for business at the 4-yard line, and 2 plays later, Arsenio Parks going to carry it in from about a yard out. He's in for the score. The extra point was good, and it was 7-7 with 3 minutes and 18 seconds to play. First play from scrimmage after the kickoff, and Xavier Joplin coughs up the football. The Shelby crowd is excited, relieved. You can put all kinds of adjectives on that one. And how about the adjective on that move right there by Preston Roseboro? 23 yards, he's in for the touchdown. And just like that, 20 seconds off the clock, and Shelby now leads it 14-7. And the Golden Lions would try to ice it away. Shuntre Smith, the playmaker, comes away with the interception of Bobby Murray. And check it out, the youngsters in the crowd loving it. And something to dance about. Late in the game, North Meck one last chance on 4th down. Murray's pass is incomplete, and the Golden Lions hang on and survive 14-7. Golden Lions will host Burns next week. How about the Crest Chargers? 49-6 over Forest View on Friday night. The Burns Bulldogs hang on 27-26 over McDowell, and Kings Mountain on the road loses to East Gaston 41-10.
That'll do it for Football Saturday's Game of the Week. Join us next half hour for Alex Caban and the Weekend Review in Espanol.
We'll tell you who survived next.
Did you ever watch The Carolina Traveler? Hi, I'm Mike Reddick. Carolina Traveler on the porch. We're out here telling people.
There is.
Hello and welcome to the Friday Night Blitz, where we bring you the best highlights. First, as always, we'll be joined by Observer Prep writer Langston Wirtz in just a minute, answering your questions. If you send them now to FridayNightBlitz@WCNC.com, scores will be rolling on the bottom line. They're there already, and let's dive right in to the highlights with our Game of the Week. We get out to Cleveland County, where the 6-0 Shelby Golden Lions were looking to move to 7-0, taking on rival Burns tonight. And it's Shelby getting right to it, Arsenio Parks. 3 yards out for the touchdown, 7-0 Golden Lions. This is not a replay. This time Larry Raper, also from short yards out, he's into the house for the touchdown, 14-0 Shelby at that point. Second quarter, Burns quarterback Lance Camp on his own goal line. I guess you call this the safety dance because he's dancing, and he's not safe because he's down, and that's a safety. That puts Shelby up 16-0. I will not, however, sing anything from Men Without Hats. Fourth quarter, Burns would get on the board. Lance Camp going deep with a touchdown pass. Shelby goes on to win it 33-7. Now, before we hear from Shelby head coach Chris Norman, an update of what we know, we want to mention that Brian Scott, a defensive back for Burns, was taken to the hospital with some neck pain. Our prayers and hopes go out to him. Hope he's all right. As for the game, it was all about ball control for Shelby.
We wanted to come out and try to control the time of possession, control the clock, went 2 tight ends. Sometimes the best way to control somebody like Lance Camp is to keep him on the bench. So we were fortunate. I think they ran about 14 plays in the first half, so we were able to keep our defense off the field.
All right, now let's head to the toughest conference in.
Thank you, ladies of Shelby High School. You're our cheerleaders of the week. A wonderful job tonight. Appreciate you being on the show, showing your school spirit. We've seen a lot here on the show so far. One of the things I want to talk about, North Meck shutting out Vance, that is huge. Daryl Vereen back. He didn't play last week versus Shelby, but coming back strong, 19-0. That is a huge win for North Meck over
Sort of
Vance.
a big surprise to me that was the score, final score. Independence, they win number 99 in a row.
Right.
We had the score for you. Independence wins number 99 in a row. They play at East Meck next week, looking for win number 100, consecutive win number 100, and it's I believe it said Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that's
crazy things.
Crazy
Spooky
things happen, right?
Things happen. Also next week we have, it's awesome, always every year, Battle for the Bell, A.O. Brown at Concord. That's our pregame tailgate party. So Spiders, I'm coming to see you next week, so you better bring a lot of fun.
One more thing that's brewing. Watauga won tonight. They take on AC Reynolds next
Pioneers
week. That's
are
becoming a big thing
year.
because both those teams are undefeated. All right, let's keep it moving. Conference play in the Southwestern 2A started tonight with a big game taking place in Shelby. The Golden Lions, we just saw the cheerleaders. What did the team do? Is they hosted the Burns Bulldogs. Shelby Lions, well, they always pile on. That's their big thing that they do. And the Lions struck first with a 5-yard touchdown run by Arsenio Parks. They were doing push-ups there too. 7-0 Golden Lions. Burns, next possession, turned into a fumble by O'Brien Degree. It is picked up by Shelby's number 80, Travis Little. There's a lot of Littles going around, a lot of numbe 80s going around. I like those guys. The fans loved it, and they loved this even more. A touchdown run by Larry Raper. The home team was up 14-0. They had reason to celebrate. Second quarter, Burns with the ball. Quarterback Lance Camp scrambled. We're going to be brought down by Corey Brooks. Nowhere to run for Lance. At the half, Golden Lions up 19-0. In the third quarter, Daryl Montgomery came out throwing, and he found Larry Raper in the end zone for his second touchdown of the night. Shelby up 26-0. Burns eventually put some points on the board when Lance Camp found Karan Phillips in the back of the end zone, but Shelby went on to win this one tonight. The final score was 34-7.
All right, let's go South Carolina, York at Gaffney.
Thanks for stopping by this half hour for Football Saturday's Game of the Week. I'm David Allen. The Shelby Golden Lions survived a scare last Friday night against North Mecklenburg. This week, they're home against the Burns Bulldogs.
Here come the Burns Bulldogs looking to get on track in the Southwestern 2A, 3A Conference on Friday night as they visit Shelby. The Golden Lions off to a 6-0 starting early. It would be Lanston Tanyee getting in on a loose football off the ankle of Lance Camp, and that would set up a 2-yard touchdown run by Arsenio Parks, and quickly it was 7-0 Shelby. Camp back to pass, throwing off balance. The ball's going to be caught by O'Brien Degree, but they rule it a fumble after the catch. Travis Little scoops it up for Shelby, and the Golden Lions right back in business, already with the 7-0 lead. Coach Ron Green can't believe it. He out on the sideline, argues his case, but to no avail, and that would set up another touchdown for the Golden Lions. This time a 2-yard scamper by Larry Raper, and it's 14-0 Golden Lions, and the Burns coaching staff trying to draw something up on the sideline, and it wouldn't work. Camp back to pass in his own end zone, nearly falls down, and then it's going to be Tanyee and Corey Brooks getting him on the end line. 2 points for the Golden Lion defense. And it's 16-0 Shelby, and the Bulldogs are shell-shocked early in this ball game. Golden Lions back to pass. Daryl Montgomery, only 2 passes on the night. Here's one of them to Raper for a first down. And then the Golden Lions would go to the bus again. Arsenio Parks just rolling up the middle. This would set up a field goal attempt by Tyler Rabb. He knocks it in from 22 yards out, and Shelby led it 19-0 at the break.
We'll be back with second half highlights and scores from our other games right after this.
Come on in and we'll show you what you can get at Bradley's Screen Printing and Trophies. Trophies, awards, and engraving for all occasions, plus plaques, acrylic, sublimation, and more. Also, custom screen printing and embroidery on t-shirts, caps, jackets, team uniforms, totes, towels, and more. And we offer discounts for individual teams and leagues, plus letter jackets for all area high schools. And we also now sell 511 tactical apparel for police and firefighters. That's Bradley's Screen Printing and Trophies, 2522 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Hello, I'm Janet Berry, owner of Frame Masters Gallery. I have some ideas to pass on to you. We can help you keep football memories on display, either in a shadow box with your jersey, pictures, and shoes, or we can frame your favorite football pictures. We're a nationally certified frame shop since 1976 for extraordinary art, gifts, home decor, and custom framing. Frame Masters Gallery, Uptown Shelby. Have you been there?
The Bulldog faithful still excited despite being down 19-0 to start the second half. Gerald Lell on the stop of Brian Scott. Almost another 2 points for the Shelby defense. Not sure how it wasn't, but that would set up Shelby on offense again, and Daryl Montgomery scrambles and finds Larry Raper. Yep, there he is. He's open for the 26-yard touchdown grab, and it's 26-0. Golden Lions, and finally Lance Camp and company will get something going. He's going to find O'Brien Degree on the far sideline here for a first down as the Bulldogs would drive down the field. Now we go to the fourth quarter, same drive, and Camp calling his own number, coming to the near side. DeAndre Stevenson going to make a nice tackle there, but on the very next play, Camp back to pass from the 13-yard line, looking to the corner for Karan Phelps. Stevenson on the coverage. It was good coverage, but the pass was well thrown, and Phelps for the touchdown. It's 26-7 on the ensuing kickoff. Howard Thompson for the Golden Lions. Watch this move as he gets into the crowd, and all of a sudden Thompson is out and down the sideline with one man to beat. The kicker makes the diving stop to grab Thompson. Shelby would turn it over on that drive, the only turnover of the night for the Golden Lions. Here's Lance Camp, fumbles the snap, but comes back and fires it. Tim Gillette with a nice diving interception, but the officials agree with the Burns sideline and say it hit the ground. So the Bulldogs' drive would be kept alive. Camp in trouble and sacked as the Golden Lions defensive front was getting after him all night long. Later in the ball game, Larry Raper's going to take this one deep down the field, but on the play, Burns' Brian Scott injured. The game was stopped for about 30 to 35 minutes. The preliminary report, a sprained neck. Brian is going to be okay, we believe. Corey Brooks pounded it in once the game resumed for the touchdown, and the Golden Lions handle Burns 33-7. Shelby now 7-0, travels to Kings Mountain next Friday. Burns visits RS Central. Crest with a big win over Country Day on the road, 16-15. The Chargers go to North Gaston. Kings Mountain loses again, but notice their record improved.
By Carolina Chevy Dealers.
All right, welcome back to the Friday Night Blitz. Now we go to the Southwestern 2A, 3A, and so far this season, Chris Norman and the Shelby Golden Lions have yet to be defeated, which is something the Hilltoppers from RS Central we're hoping to change tonight. The Hilltoppers 4-0 on the season coming into this one, and the Golden Lions hosting themselves a block party. Let me show you what I'm talking about. First quarter action, Corey Brooks breaks through and blocks the punt. He eventually recovers it in the end zone for the touchdown, and that's how you get on the board quickly, up 7-0. Next possession, how about this? Another punt block. This time by Jarvis Bridges. Golden Lions go up 14-0. I'm telling you, block party. Take a wild guess what happened on this punt. You guessed it. Another Shelby block. They would score on the next play and go up 28-0, and they cruise tonight in style, 61-14. They move to 9-0 on the year. In the Big South 3A, 4A, the Crest Chargers.
It's 34-0. They keep it going. Shrine Bowl member Preston Roseboro takes it around the end, almost breaks it into the end zone, down at the 2. Next play, Arsenio, the baby bus Parks, another Shrine Bowler, takes it in, 41-0 Shelby. At that point, next possession, Parks again from short yardage, plows his way into the end zone, 47-0, and so on, and so on, and so on. Then Howard Thompson's going to bust loose around the end, and folks, I don't think anybody's going to catch him. Is that a possible play of the night? I think it is. 90 yards for this touchdown. Golden Lions blow out the Hilltoppers from RS Central 61-14 and remain undefeated, 9-0.
At least the Hilltoppers have cool uniforms. I like those. How about a big game?
4-14, Burns a winner and moving on in the playoffs.
Cricket, how about West Henderson at Shelby? Golden Lions. Only one real highlight in this one when we got there at halftime was 14-7. Shelby was feeling good. Then Corey Brooks blocked the punt from Henderson, and he ran the ball all the way in for the touchdown. Shelby looking good. And so was their defense. Miles Lawrence and Keandre Stevenson took care of business the rest of the game. Some nice hitting there. Shelby won it tonight, 21-7, moving the Lions on to the next round. All right, it's time for a break here on the show. When we come back, we'll see if the dream season for Watauga could continue.
For this special playoff edition of Football Saturday's Game of the Week, I'm David Allen. The Shelby Golden Lions advanced the third round of the state playoffs last week with a win against West Henderson. On Friday night, the Golden Lions hosted East Lincoln.
There's the pile as the Golden Lions come onto the field for this third round matchup with East Lincoln. The day after Thanksgiving, it's been quite a tradition over the years at Shelby High School, and on the first play from scrimmage, Daryl Montgomery airing it out to Preston Roseboro, bobbled it just a bit. You couldn't see it from that angle. He's in for the touchdown. The play covered 58 yards. And with just 19 seconds off the clock, the Golden Lions led it 7-0. Coach Lance Ware's defense go out there to protect the lead. Great catch by Adrian Forney as he will carry the pile up for a few yards, and that would set up the quarterback, Peyton Brady. Big 6'5" quarterback fires it over the middle to Austin Culp. Culp gets into the end zone, and just like that, we're tied at 7. And Tyler Rabb, the Shelby senior, watching from the sideline, and Daryl Montgomery, his quarterback, taking it around the end. 55 yards on the option play. He's in for the score. Apparently the official didn't like something that Daryl did as he crossed the goal line, throws the flag for unsportsmanlike conduct. Coach Chris Norman coming out to have a word with the white hat. Penalty flags galore in the first half, and again, here's Forney, hard running. Gang tackling by the Golden Lions led by Corey Brooks. There's one of the penalty flags. 14 in all called against Shelby in the first half. Look at that hit right there from Daryl Montgomery on Culp, the intended receiver. Montgomery's fired up, and so were the faithful. There's the Shelby High School Marching Band. They were having a good time on Friday night. Montgomery back to pass, in trouble's going to roll to the near side and fire it up, looking for Travis Little, the tight end. Makes a great catch along the sideline, and that would set up Tyler Rabb. This 40-yard field goal gave Shelby a 17-7 lead. Hey, Donna Huey-Brooks in the house on Friday night, but Peyton Brady on the quarterback keeper coming to the near side is going to take a shot right there by Tim Gillette. Calvin Brown also on the stop, but Brady would come right back to his favorite target on the night. That's Matt Warren in for the touchdown, and it was 17-14 at the break.
We'll be back with second half highlights and a score from the Burns game right after this.
SNR Auto and Cycle Sales is Shelby's #1 quality pre-owned car and truck center. Watch as we scan the lot. You'll see our large selection of economy to luxury cars, trucks, motorcycles, and buy here, pay here vehicles. Everybody rides at SNR. We have new inventory arriving daily and financing arranged on the lot. We also have a detailing shop open to the public. So get red-hot deals at SNR Auto and Cycle Sales, 417 South Post Road, or shop with us online at srautosales.com.
If you haven't been to Hendrick Appliance, Shelby's largest appliance store, come visit our showroom. We have the best kitchen appliances from refrigerators, ranges, over-the-range microwaves, and dishwashers. The best-selling washers and dryers, including the new Whirlpool Cabrio with the largest washer capacity on the market. We also have a huge selection of scratch and dent appliances with tremendous savings and 90 days, same as cash. All this and more at Hendrick Appliance, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Sometimes games are won and lost with halftime adjustments, and boy, did the Shelby defense adjust at halftime. Travis Little, Lanston Tanye on the stop right there. That would set up the Golden Lions on a long touchdown march. Arsenio Parks, the bus, carrying for a couple of yards over the left side, and then Larry Raper's going to take this thing to the right side, use some speed down the sideline. Raper making a couple of moves. They catch him inside the 10. And that would set up Arsenio Parks. He'll bull his way in from a yard out. The touchdown gave Shelby a 24-14 lead. And the Golden Lions defense would come back again. Again, they try to run the football on 3rd and short, and Travis Little is there to stand up. He had Gerald Lell helping as well. And then the Golden Lions would get the turnover. Good pressure by Aaron Smith. He fires it, but Miles Lawrence is there. Coughs up the football on the big hit, but Miles Lawrence is bailed out by Michael McLam as he picks up the football. Shelby would have it, and then the Golden Lions would turn to the ground, attack Larry Raper again. Raper, a couple of big runs on the night, spinning there. He gets it down inside the red zone, and then a few plays later on 4th down and 4, Arsenio Parks from 4 yards out. He's in for the score. That would pretty much close the deal for the Golden Lions. They led it at that point 30-14 if there was any question about it. Quavalis Murray gets to the quarterback along with Lanston Tanye, and Shelby dominates the second half. The Golden Lions win it 30-14 over East Lincoln. Shelby now 14-0 will travel to Canton, Pisgah next Friday night. Pisgah, a 38-23 winner over South Iredell. Up in Lawndale, Northwest Cabarrus rallies in the 4th quarter to beat Burns 37-33. The Bulldogs end the season 10-4.
Thanks for stopping by this half hour for Football Saturday's Game of the Week. Join us next half hour as Alex Caban will have the Week in Review in Espanol. For Football Saturday's Game of the Week, I'm David Allen.
33, the freshman getting it done. All right, let's check the 3A brackets now. North Gaston taking on Carver and second seeded. Could they do it? We'll let you know when we come back. Shelby Golden Lions and see how they keep things rolling. Could they stay undefeated and continue to defend their title? Shelby on the first play from scrimmage. Daryl Montgomery going to work, looking and finding a wide open Preston Roseboro, who goes 58 yards for the touchdown, and it's 7-0 Shelby. The Mustangs, however, play a wild brand of offense. That helped Shelby a little bit off balance. The quarterback, great quarterback name, Peyton Brady to Matt Warren for a 17-yard gain. And then Brady finds Austin Colt for the touchdown. And we're tied at 7-all, but Shelby would roar right back. How about Montgomery? No need to throw. Fakes out the cameraman. By the way, I love Mike Hansen. Does great work out there in Cleveland County. A nice recovery, as you see, as he gets the 54-yard touchdown, putting the Lions back on top, and they go on to win it 30-14 to
Golden Lions. Tonight, East Lincoln took their shot. And in playoffs, the Shelby Golden Lions are rolling right along to another berth in the state championships. The Golden Lions haven't really been challenged since the 14-7 win over North Meck in September. Last week, they didn't look as sharp as usual, but they still won by 2 touchdowns tonight. Coach Chris Norman and company look to keep their streak going against East Lincoln. Let's take you out there to the Golden Lions. I love their pregame ritual bell. The little pylon there.
Make sure no one gets hurt.
I know. First quarter, Daryl Montgomery fakes the handoff and fakes out a photographer, Drew Hunt. Where is he at, Drew? Oh, there's the pass there to Preston Roseboro for the touchdown. 7-zip Shelby at that point. Next drive, East Lincoln. Peyton Brady, how about that name for a quarterback? Is going to hit Austin Culp with the touchdown there. Ties the game all at 7 apiece. Later on, Montgomery is going to answer for Shelby in a big way. Look at this possible play of the night. The quarterback keeper, Bill, 65 yards later, he is in the end zone. That kid's got some jets. He's flying. 14-7 Shelby at that point. Then East Lincoln, they're going to try to answer. It's that guy again, Peyton Brady, trying to hit Colt. But, oh, Shelby's QB plays on defense as well. That was Montgomery, the QB. There was the hit. Wow. Shelby would add a field goal. 17-7 Golden Lions at this point. East Lincoln tries to answer. Brady hits Matt Warren for a 17-yard touchdown strike. 17-14 Shelby at the half. This is a good one, folks. Let's fast forward to the third. Arsenio Parks stretches the ball for the touchdown. 24-14 Shelby. East Lincoln tries to answer. Brady avoids the sack and looks for Keith Rindelman. But, oh, there's Miles Lawrence there to pick it off. Let's go to the fourth. Same score. Parks is going to take it in for the short TD. That was the nail in the coffin. Shelby wins it 30-14. Coach Chris Norman happy to be moving on.
The thorns get bigger each week as we get closer to that row. So I don't know who will be playing yet, but I'm just feel very fortunate and proud of our kids that will be playing next week.
So next week, Shelby will play Pisgah. Oh, wow, the winner plays.
Things are led by a high-powered offense with quarterback Peyton Brady setting the tone. Now tonight, their toughest test of the season, the undefeated, defending 2 AA state champs, the Shelby Golden Lions. Brian Stevenson was at this one and has the story.
The Golden Lions have a lot of traditions. The pile is one, and winning is another. East Lincoln starting to build a program and a tradition of their own. Opening kickoff and a fumble. Shelby does hang on, and then they'll hang 6 on their first play from scrimmage. Preston Roseboro bobbles and takes it. 58 yards for the score. 12 seconds into this one, and it's already 7-0. So, how would East Lincoln respond to an early punch in the gut? By punching back. Peyton Brady led the Mustangs down the field, and guys like Adrian Forty would make great catches. Capped off by the Austin Culp touchdown, 16 plays, 79 yards, and we're knotted at 7. East Lincoln fans showing their love for football Friday night, and we love you too. They wouldn't love this, though. Shelby with the big play. Quarterback Daryl Montgomery keeps it and won't be touched. 65 yards for the score. Golden Lions are up 14-7. Shelby would add to that lead on this drive. An amazing catch. That would lead to a 32-yard Tyler Rabb field goal, and it's 17-7 Shelby. East Lincoln would hang tough, and quarterback Peyton Brady would lead the Mustangs down the field and throw for a score, cutting Shelby's lead to 3 at the half.
We told them to keep doing what they're doing. You know, we've been in close games before this year. These kids have played hard all year long. Told them just keep playing with great effort and great pride.
Second half looked like East Lincoln had a spark after this pass. The drive stall. And Shelby took advantage. Larry Raper takes it and makes people miss, even breaks tackles. A huge game. He's gone down the field for the Golden Lions. That would lead to another score. Shelby now up 24-14. After that drive, East Lincoln not able to get the momentum back, and Shelby would pound the ball and eat up clock. This INT would seal the deal.
We were fortunate second half to be able to control the time of possession a little bit and keep the ball away from that great quarterback.
Shelby lives to play another week. Final score in this one, 30-14. It's Shelby. Brian Stevenson for Football Friday Night.
Big win for Shelby, but East Lincoln building a great program there. Great season. Peyton Brady, an outstanding quarterback. I got the chance to see him play a couple of times. Really, really neat kid, great kid. And Adrian Forney, too. That team did very, very well and had a great season, so certainly hats off to them for a fantastic season. But Shelby, wow.
Shelby's the team to beat. I mean,
Coach Norman's got them right where they need to be.
All right. Hey, do you want to look like we do on Football Friday Night? Competitive Edge Sports, better known as CES, takes care of us. For a break here on Football Friday Night, but we have a lot more to come, so stay right where you are. All right, Wake Forest, the Shelby Golden Lions. That's right. They're going for their second straight 2AA state title when they take on Southern Vance. Shelby is a program very rich in tradition with multiple state titles.
Yes, they are, and they have a great chance to add to their history. Let's take a look at their path to the title game. Now the Golden Lions have dominated this season in the regular season and the playoffs. A chance to win the school's 5th state title, which is impressive to say the least. Now Brian Stevenson has a preview of the Shelby Golden Lions and the season that was for this championship hopeful.
It was a well-deserved celebration when Shelby knocked off Pisgah last week to make it back to the state finals.
This is special. It's very special, and you know, everybody involved with the program has done a great job, and I'm just trying to enjoy the ride myself.
But to understand how the Golden Lions got to the state championship game, you need to go back to the beginning.
Vikings quarterback.
The North Met game is probably as close as Shelby came to a loss all season. With 4:14 left to go in the game, they were down 7. A touchdown, followed by a North Met fumble, helped Shelby squeak out the victory. The next week, they torched Burns 34-7 and never looked back. Shelby outscored their opponents this season 519 to 182, averaging 34.6 points per game.
Have we played great every game? No. Have we played great every half? No. We've had some rough spots.
So how did they do it? Let's go inside the numbers to find out. 3,918. That's how many yards the Golden Lions have racked up with their ground attack this year. Fullback Arsenio Parks is responsible for nearly 1,500 of those yards.
We've had a few along the years. He's had the combination that he has of size and speed. But I think part of his is determination. Part of it is he's very intelligent.
This bruiser only averages 7 yards per carry. And if he can see the end zone, forget about it. He leads the team with 19 TDs this year. 40, the number of times Shelby D sacked the opposing quarterback this year. In fact, if you were a quarterback facing the Shelby defense, chances are it wasn't going to be a good night. They also had 21 picks on the year. And that leads us to number 1. That's the number of picks quarterback Daryl Montgomery has thrown this entire season. You heard me correctly. 1 pick in 85 attempts. But Daryl is not one to gloat.
I give all my credit to the linemen. They block well and give me protection, and my receivers just catch the ball, and I never take any credit.
Plant, come. Shelby is 15-0, defending state champs, and 1 win away from the word they don't like us to use, repeat. But as they worked on their final game plan this week, Coach Norman continued to echo a consistent message.
Just enjoy the time, savor the moment, leave it on the field. You know, make sure when you come off that field that you can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I did my best.
And if all goes well, they can repeat this scene from 1 year ago, Saturday evening. On my way to Winston-Salem, Brian Stevenson for Football Friday Night.
Yeah, the town of Shelby just as excited as their team, and you know, a lot of people, like last week, they thought Independence Butler was really the championship game, and the same goes for Shelby. Playing at Canton Pisgah. Canton Pisgah was ranked number 1 in the state. Yeah. They thought that was the championship game, but I'm sure Coach Norman is not telling his team that you got to finish off the job. And here's how they need to finish off the job. First of all, we talked about Arsenio Parks. Brian did in his story. You got to get that fullback going early. He opens up everything, and when he is gashing the opposing defense, it's trouble for them. Use that Shelby swagger as an advantage. Here's what we're talking about. Shelby, 4 state titles, going up against a team playing in their first title game. Early lead can possibly get in the heads of Southern Vance, who might be a little intimidated.
Absolutely. Now, the Shelby defense, you're going to have to play your best game of the year because Southern Vance, even though they haven't been in this situation, they can spread the ball around in the passing game. So the running backs, yeah, they can hit those running backs too. So Lions defense, you better bring your A game, and Coach Norman expects that from his team.
Good luck to the Shelby Golden Lions going for their second 2AA title in a row. Time for a break. When we come back, we'll preview the Charlotte Catholic Cougars and their quest for yet another state title.
Thanks for stopping by for this special state championship edition of Football Saturday on Sunday. I'm David Allen. The Shelby Golden Lions taking on the Southern Vance Raiders on Saturday at Wake Forest Grove Stadium.
The sign said sweet repeat, and if the Golden Lions could win on Saturday afternoon, that's exactly what it would be. First play of the game, the fake in the middle to Arsenio Parks, and Daryl Montgomery is off to the races. 71 yards for the Shelby senior, gets out of a would-be tackle at the 15-yard line. He's in for the score, and the big crowd on hand for Shelby on Saturday getting into it. The Golden Lions led it 7-0, and then early in this football game, the Raiders of Southern Vance would be in trouble. Howard Thompson on a fumble there by Jameer Pugh, but Tyler Rapp's going to hit the crossbar with that attempt, and it would still be 7-0 Shelby, but the Golden Lions would keep coming. Look at Parks take a big hit right there, but Arsenio would stay in the ball game and play well, and so would Montgomery. His second touchdown of the first quarter, this one from 30 yards out. It's 14-0 Shelby, and Montgomery over 100 yards rushing in the first quarter. Pugh back to pass, looking over the middle. Instead, he finds Shelby's Corey Brooks, the most outstanding defensive player of the football game. Going to return this one down to about the 38-yard line. But Shelby's coaches, Lance Ware, Aubrey Hollifield, looking on. The Golden Lions could not take advantage of a touchdown right there, and instead they take a big hit to the quarterback, Daryl Montgomery. You just saw it at the tail end there before we flew to the football, and here it is in slow motion, helmet-to-helmet contact. Montgomery was knocked out on the play, had to have stitches as he was carried off the field. Howard Thompson in there for Montgomery, and Thompson would carry the football, but he coughs it up right there. Southern Vance was on it, and Vance, that was all the break they would need to get back in this ball game. Although Keandre Stevenson with an interception there for Shelby, trying to keep the Golden Lions in it. And Shelby would lead it 14-0 still, but then Pugh finally is going to get some running room, and he's got tremendous speed down the far sideline. 65 yards for the touchdown. He's in for the score. 2-point conversion attempt, no good. No kicking game to speak of for Southern Vance on Saturday. And then Pugh again, this time to David Person, in for the touchdown. Shelby's lead cut to 2 at the half.
SNR Auto and Cycle Sales is
Our Frame Masters Gallery. I have some ideas to pass on to you. We can help you keep football memories on display, either in a shadow box with your jersey, pictures, and shoes, or we can frame your favorite football pictures. We're a nationally certified frame shop since 1976 for extraordinary art, gifts, home decor, and custom framing. Frame Masters Gallery, Uptown Shelby. Have you been there?
Big powwow to start the second half between Shelby's team, Doctors, and Q Tucker of the High School Athletic Association. Montgomery cleared the play, but it would be, how about Jameer Pugh to David Person, and it's the first lead of the ball game for Southern Vance at 18-14. But look at, there's Daryl Montgomery on defense. After the hard hit, he comes in and lays the boom right there, but then how about the boom by the bus? Arsenio Parks gives Shelby the lead again at 21-18, and Larry Raper over 100 yards rushing for Raper, Parks, and Daryl Montgomery on the night. Raper with a nice run there. That would set up the bus again. He was the most outstanding offensive player. He's in from 15 yards out. That touchdown would be the difference as Shelby wins it 27-24 to finish off a 16-0 season, the second straight 2AA title for the Golden Lions as they win it in Winston-Salem.
So that'll do it from Grove Stadium. Shelby wins it 27-24, and that'll do it for this edition of Football Saturday.
All right, welcome back to Sports Extra. 5 area teams were in action all around the state yesterday with high school football championships on the line. 3 of the 5 walked away with the hardware. West Charlotte lost to Greenville Rose in 4A, and Charlotte Catholic came up short 15-7 against Eastern Randolph in the 3AA. But Independence won their 7th consecutive state title with a dominating win over Riverside. The Patriots have now won 108 games in a row. And joining me now, an interview so big, we had to break out the big desk, but we've got Easy Smith from Concord. Obviously, you have a trophy, and Chris Norman from Shelby. Coach Norman, let's talk about your game yesterday, because obviously a very dramatic story with your starting quarterback, Daryl Montgomery. What were you thinking when he hit down? And tell me how that went about, that he came back.
Well, he took a pretty good hit on a pass play, and never totally went out, but he was sort of stunned. He had a cut under his eye, and we wanted to make sure, obviously, that he was okay. Got him into the locker room, and I guess what went through my mind is, hey, the young guy better step up, because it's his turn now. And it's that's a big situation for a young kid like that to come in. But our doctors were on hand. They checked Daryl out thoroughly during the first half and during halftime, and cleared him to go ahead and play the second half.
That had to be a big sigh of relief. And Coach Smith, obviously, we can talk about it now with a smile, but it had to be a big sigh of relief, because you guys had a huge win. Tell me what's going through your mind as you're watching things kind of unravel. You're up 28-7 going into the fourth quarter, and you have to go to overtime.
We do. Our kids got a little tired, I'll be honest with you. We had 6 key players going both ways, and they got a little tired toward the end of the game, and their quarterback and their receivers and running backs were running us all over the field. We were having to try to contain him, and when they tied the score, they were going to call a timeout, kick a field goal, and we went ahead and called the first timeout and called the second timeout. And my daughter about got in a fight with somebody in the stands. What are you doing calling all your timeouts? But we called the second one, and we froze him and won the game.
Yeah, and you got a little knot on the head there.
I did, yeah.
With the Gatorade.
I saw where the
cooler. You rubbing your head.
Well, we had 3 rookies that had never dunked water, and they hit me in the head with the cooler. I had a big knot on the head.
Well, growing on that, hopefully it's something that can continue. But let me just quickly ask you guys, respectively, what this means for your communities. Coach Smith, like I said, this is your second in 3 years. You're going back. I'm sure you got some players coming back. You've made 3 straight trips there, Coach Norman. You got 2 under your belt. I'm sure you want another as well.
Well, Coach Smith and I were talking before we went on about Coach Robinson, what he says. You win one, and it becomes contagious, and it is. Both our schools are very rich in football traditions, and it's almost an expectation to return. My young quarterback, he had a tough day, but he did a good job for us, and he's excited about taking over for Daryl next year, and I'm sure he's thinking about maybe making another run at it.
Yeah. Coach Smith?
I think for us, Concord and Shelby parallel. I told you earlier, Ira, 2 years ago, that 3 losses at Concord's a bad season.
Right.
And
that's how you started.
And we started 0-3, and so it was really bad. We were at the darkest part of my career as a coach, and we came back, and we were excited, about what happened, but we lost 14 starters, key starters. We've got 8 kids coming back next year that have to step up and be players. But we're going to line those kids up. We're going to play. We had a good group of JV kids that are going to move up. And just like Chris, I got to replace my quarterback. And D. Bost had a great 12-game run. He's the only undefeated quarterback in the history of Concord High School. And tomorrow he's going to start basketball practice. Him and Lance Lewis and Jimmy Dry and Matt Beecher, those guys. But I'm going to go watch them and enjoy them. I don't have to worry about them anymore.
Well, congratulations on great seasons. Thanks for coming in tonight. Best of luck tomorrow. Of course, or I should say next season, we'll be following you on the Friday Night Blitz. And thanks for all your support and help through the season. You guys have been awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right. When Sports Extra returns, it's back to the Panthers. And if Jake's thumb isn't better next week, how does the rest of the team feel about Winky going again? We'll find out when we come back.
Congratulations on a back-to-back state championship.
Thank you, David. It's a pleasure to be here.
Obviously, the ball game started out in a kind of a fast action for Shelby. First play of the game, Daryl Montgomery goes 71 yards for a touchdown. Allen Ford, and third straight game now that the Golden Lions are involved in the playoffs where the first play of the game was a touchdown. 2 weeks ago against East Lincoln, it was a Shelby score. Last week against Pisgah, it was a Pisgah score, and then on Saturday, it was the Golden Lions.
Well, I'm sure Coach Norman was glad I wasn't the other side doing that this time. Montgomery got to the outside on the option, turned it upfield, and just had a lane to go all the way, and had the speed to finish it off.
One of the things we talked about in the pregame show on the radio yesterday, Coach, was the fact that one of the things they were going to try to do is take Arsenio Parks out of the equation offensively, which might open up the option, and obviously Daryl was able to take advantage of that early in the ballgame.
It was. He made a great read. The guy that was responsible for the fullback closed hard, took Arsenio. Daryl was able to get the ball into the secondary. Safety played over the top pretty fast and allowed him to get to the middle of the field.
Andy, one of the things about Montgomery that has been overlooked, I guess, is his running the football, and had a tremendous game yesterday rushing the football, especially early in that first quarter, and showed some speed down the sideline on that play.
Well, Daryl's a tremendous athlete, not only on the football field, but on the basketball court, and he just makes things happen, and he's done that throughout his career at Shelby.
Of course, that was just the beginning of the football game, only 19 seconds off the clock, and it was 7-0 Shelby, but the Golden Lions would add another touchdown just a few moments later in the first quarter with Montgomery again. Looked like the same play, Coach Norman, as he goes in from 30 yards out on the second touchdown.
Well, it's a variation of the same play. It was more of a midline option than it was a outside triple option. And again, he made a good read. The defense collapsed to the fullback, and we were able to fan out on the tackle, and he cut it up inside.
One of the issues that, again, have been talked about a lot was the experience factor. Allen, Shelby being in their third straight state championship game, and Southern Vance playing in their first ever state championship game, and then early in the ball game with the 2 big touchdown runs and a couple of turnovers, it looked like Southern Vance may have had the jitters to start the ball game.
May have. We've seen a lot in state championship games in the past with all the teams that have been there from Cleveland County. You can let some haymakers in the first couple of minutes of games, and that just has a big effect on it. You have to, as they say, take your hat off to Southern Vance that they were able to gather themselves and make it a contest. And then, of course, later on, Shelby had to do the same thing.
Talking about haymakers, obviously Shelby on the receiving end of a haymaker toward the end of that first quarter, Coach. Daryl Montgomery hit, helmet-to-helmet hit after an incomplete pass down the sideline to Larry Raper, and of course it was a scary moment. Well, it was not just a moment, but it was a scary period there for all the Golden Lion fans, and I'm sure you were a little upset and worried about it as well.
Well, anytime that you see an athlete get injured, you have concerns, and particularly when one stays down as long as Daryl did. Obviously the replay showed that it was a late hit, and I don't think there was any intention on the part of the young man from Southern Vance, but it was just, those things happen sometimes. You see them on Saturdays, you see them on Sundays, and it happens on Friday night.
Of course, when Daryl Montgomery went out of that ball game, Shelby was up 14-0, and then Allen, I guess, I don't know if you'd say the wheels fell off, but at least it got real tight there all of a sudden. Southern Vance was able to take advantage of a couple of turnovers. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, for us and against Southern Vance, they didn't have a kicking game at all, and they weren't able to tie the game, but it was 14-12 at the half.
It sure was, and I heard it from so many different aspects. That's maybe where that experience factor showed up, because Coach said it, and others said it. They didn't panic. They kept playing football, kept trying to block, kept trying to tackle, do what you work on, and that's maybe where the poise factor showed up a little bit, because a lot of lesser teams, not necessarily athletically, but internally in their motivation, could have really, we got an excuse now, whatever. But instead, they bowed their back and still played football in the second half and brought it home.
Coach Norman, I won't put you on the spot to comment about Southern Vance's kicking game, but how have you as a head coach, and how has Shelby over the years traditionally been able to continue to find guys that can kick point after touchdowns and kick field goals and have a good solid kicking game, whereas maybe some other teams struggle in that area?
Well, I think part of that goes back to the fact that we we put a lot of emphasis on the kicking game, and the other thing is that we've been very blessed to have a lot of our soccer players who are willing to come out and kick for us. Now Tyler's an exception to the rule. He was a soccer-style kicker, punter who played baseball, and he played some basketball early in his tenure at Shelby High. But we've also been blessed to have some soccer players, and Coach Steves is really good at working with us. We try to do all our kicking early in the game, early in practice, so they can get to soccer practice. And I think that has just continued, and we really, we like to have those guys out, and hopefully they'll continue to come out.
Well, Andy, I'll go ahead and put you. I wouldn't put him on the spot, but I will. How does a team make it to the state championship game and be that bad in the kicking game? First of all, their first touchdown, they didn't even attempt the point after. They waited until the third touchdown to send the kicker out there for an attempt at a point after. And their punt game was awful as well. I mean, it really kept Shelby in great field position all night because they just simply couldn't handle the kicking game.
Right, and early when they scored that first touchdown, sitting up in the press box, I mentioned to the guys with me, I said, apparently they don't have a kicking game because they're going to go for two right here and now. So that was an indication of things to come as far as the kicking game for Southern Vance.
Well, Randy Capps, of course, our old buddy was with Allen at the Shelby Star, moved up to Henderson and working now at the Daily Dispatch, had told me about them last week in that game that they were able to come back and win against let's see, who was that they were playing last week? Forest Hills, that they missed 3 extra points in that game. And so obviously this was something that they've been struggling with all season, and again, didn't even attempt an extra point until that third touchdown. Of course, you go into halftime, Coach. Did you have any idea at any point before going to the locker room whether or not you might get Darryl back at quarterback?
No, the last information I got from Coach Prevost, our trainer, was that he's out. And I knew that we had our team doctors in the locker room with him. And as we came off the field, I saw Darryl's dad coming out of the locker room, and we spoke briefly. And he felt like he would be back for the second half. And very fortunate to have the sports medicine people that we have and the doctors with us each week. And went in and checked, and he was ready. He wanted back in there, and he wanted back in there on both sides.
Well, and of course, we can't mention the fact of the injury and the fact that he was out of the game for over a quarter of play without talking about Howard Thompson, Howard stepping in, the junior. And of course, I know, Coach, that you always prepare your second string guys to be ready to go in there whenever the case calls for it. But I mean, here's the biggest stage that you could possibly put a kid in there, and he did turn the football over, but he was trying to get extra yardage when he did that. But that's your quarterback of the future.
That's the quarterback of the future. He's gotten better each week in practice. That's a tough situation for a young guy to come into, and in that venue and under that kind of pressure. And I really thought Howard handled it well. He made some good decisions on the option. He kept the ball. He should have. The reads indicated that he should keep the ball, and he was just unfortunate he didn't do a good job with ball security. But still, he didn't get down. The kids didn't get down. I didn't get on him, and I just told him, secure the ball, and he's fine. Sometimes you just have the kids make the plays. You got to let the players go out there and play the ball game.
Again, it was 14-0 Shelby, but Southern Vance got back in it 14-12 as they cut the lead at halftime. And when we come back in our second segment of Armchair Quarterback, we'll talk about that second half of action. We'll do that when we come back. You're watching Armchair Quarterback. Our second segment of Armchair Quarterback, our season-ending edition, and of course, Alan Ford of the Shelby Star, Andy Foster of TeamLine.cc, and with us today, Coach Chris Norman of the Shelby Golden Lions, the Golden Lions State 2AA champions. We got to the half, and of course, after a quarter of kind of the momentum swinging and things going against Shelby, Golden Lions got it into halftime, Andy, and then when they came out to start the second half, the roar from the crowd went up, one of the loudest cheers you've probably ever heard in terms of that kind of crowd, and the obvious roar of approval for Darryl Montgomery coming back out on the playing field.
Yeah, it had to be a tremendous lift for those young men on the sideline when Darryl came running out there, and that tremendous response he got. And that was really a highlight of the ball game for me.
Of course, then there was the big I guess, discussion, conference, whatever you call it. They actually sent the teams back off of the field, coach, as they were lined up for the second half kickoff in order to confer with the doctors and the state officials to determine whether or not it was going to be okay for Montgomery to come back in and play, and all that was taken care of. And obviously that's not normal procedure, because normally we don't have a state official at the game, but the doctors obviously cleared him for play.
They did, and again, that's the advantage of having doctors on your sideline and someone that can go in and stay with the athlete during a time like that. The rules say, anytime a situation like that and they have to be taken in, or if a player's unconscious, you got to have a written statement from the doctor. And that's been going on since '94. I remember when we were up at Pisgah, same thing happened to Frank Leatherwood, and of course he came back in the game. And I guess with the I don't know why the officials questioned the note from the two doctors that signed signed off on it, and I don't know why they wanted one official, when they brought it out, the other one agreed with me that she did not have to approve it, but again, they wanted to take it to her and get her approval, I guess, sort of to relieve them of any responsibility.
Of course, all the momentum seemed maybe to be back on Shelby's side at that point, Alan, but that was not to be the case, because Southern Vance got the second half kickoff. They had trailed the entire ball game prior to that, but they went quickly down the field, got a big touchdown play, and took the lead for their first time at 18-14.
Well, throughout the ball game, you just saw the evidence of the speed that they could bring to bear on offense, and when Pugh got time to throw and found them, they can make things happen, and they just executed a great play on the touchdown toss especially, and got the lead, and you wondered how things were going to go from that point.
Coach, I guess the question would be, I think we've got through 14 games of the regular season and the playoffs without allowing a long touchdown of more than 24, 25 yards, and it seemed like all four of their touchdowns came from the long play variety. What was it that they were doing offensively yesterday that created the big play opportunity?
Well, I think it's a good quarterback, a couple of good receivers. I thought their kids did a good job of making some big plays. Once or twice we were out of position, and either wasn't quite in the coverage that we wanted to be in, or maybe we didn't take care of the responsibility. But pretty much you got to give them credit for making the plays. I thought our kids played good, and I thought they played hard, they played smart, and they still played the bend and don't break type thing. But give Southern Vance credit. They made some big plays.
A lot of speed there by the Raiders, no question. And of course, then Andy, though, after that touchdown, kind of the old Shelby stand by what you'd expect to see out of the Golden Lions as they really started pounding the football with the fullback Arsenio Parks over 100 yards on the game. Larry Raper over 100 yards rushing on the game as well. Of course, Daryl Montgomery over 100, but he did that on 2 runs in the first quarter. The second half belonged primarily to Parks and Raper.
Yeah, and Parks, the senior, I think really took it upon himself to provide a lot of spark and leadership on that offense, and that was typical Arsenio, just running over people in the second half.
And of course, running over people, but also running by people, Coach, is the holes that you were getting out of that offensive line didn't cause him to have a whole lot of problem in the second half. They were on both of the touchdown runs. I'm not sure he was touched at all on the 20-yarder and the 15-yarder.
I tell you what, our offensive line played absolutely wonderful Saturday. Probably the best game they had played all year. This is a group that came together as the year went along and kept getting better each week. And we found we were able to run a little bit better on the left side over behind Tyrese Williams and Travis Ellis. And they were able to handle their people pretty well. Of course, not that the right side didn't do a good job either. Lamont and Casey did a good job on that side. Of course, you got Sam in the middle there, the little guy at 175 pounds around all them big guys. But you have to give, you get into a game like that with a fast break type of offense, it's good if you can control time of possession, and that's what's been successful for us this year in playing teams like that. And again, you get the fullback established and able to get some big plays out of him. It helps eat time off the clock, and then we were able to score.
2 touchdowns by Parks in the second half. Allen gave Shelby the 27-18 lead. It looked like at that point things might be back settled and game going to kind of be in hand and maybe kind of get comfortable with it, but then they hit again the big play. It was kind of an interesting formation. They had triple wide receivers to the far side, and they motioned a back out to that side as well, kind of hit him on the screen pass, and those 3 receivers kind of set up a wall down the sideline, and And then just like that, 14, 15 seconds later, they've cut it to 3 points again.
He just hit a seam, and just all he needed was the one step, as fast as he was, and he was off the races. He was gone. But again, Shelby did several times yesterday when they were hit with the haymaker. They usually came back and made a play of some kind, and when they got the football back, they went back to their bread and butter, hammering straight ahead.
Of course, Coach, I know you can single out individuals all over the field on both sides of the ball, but the one kid that, as I was putting together my highlight package last night, that really impressed me on that particular play, it was the Mark Ellis touchdown for Southern Vance I guess it was in the fourth quarter, but the kid that was still chasing him down as he crossed the goal line was Michael McLean, number 45, your senior linebacker, who knew that he was not going to catch him, but yet he was running right after him the whole way down the field.
And that's the kind of effort that Michael gives you week in and week out. He hard-nosed, tough kid, just a true middle linebacker type, and he just no quit type attitude. Just kept on getting after it. Actually, he passed one of our defensive backs on that play. Who, if you look on our time sheets, he's not as fast as. But that just goes to show you what determination will do for you.
Of course, the Golden Lions then had a chance, Andy, to kind of again punch one in and maybe put the finishing touches on it, but a nice play by Southern Vance to cause a fumble down inside the 5-yard line that gave them life. But at that point, really the Shelby defense, who had given up some big plays during the ball game, really stepped up with back-to-back possessions. When Southern Vance had the football deep in its own end, Shelby just would not let them come out of there and get anything going offensively.
Right, and talking about the play on the turnover, Southern Vance, I thought, hit real hard the whole ball game. They tackled very well, I thought, and made some big plays. But you're right, that Shelby experience, I thought, took over there in the fourth quarter.
Alan, of course, we were on the end of the press box that was closest to that end zone, and the Shelby coaches were to the right of us, even closer to the end zone. We all thought that Shelby had a safety. When I finally looked at it on video last night, it did appear that the officials made a good call on that one. We'll give them at least one good call last night or Saturday, and I'm just joking, but Shelby's defense really stepped it up at that point.
They sure did. Guys that don't get much publicity, those guys up front, but I didn't realize it until I saw the stat sheet. Lanston Taney had such a good game, had like about 9 tackles. Knew Corey Brooks had a big game with a sack and an interception, but some of those guys up there in the trenches were, they were battling big people too. So, there's a lot to be said for, especially in the fourth quarter, how the Shelby defense played.
Coach, you had the fumble by Larry down there close as you were going in for a touchdown. Then you had the really uncharacteristic interception by Darrell late. But the defense after both of those turnovers just simply would not let them get a yard.
And and it was a good play by their kid down on the goal line. We got Larry out on the. I believe it was a sweep or a counter play, and he had a chance to go to the corner. The guy got an angle on him. He tried to cut it back, and the kid came up and made a great play. And then on the pass, we're trying to get it to their tight end. They'd basically gone to their goal line defense, knowing we were just going to run the ball. I'd seen that earlier in the series before that they'd removed their middle safety, so we were trying to get something off of play action across, and their kid did a great job backing up underneath the throw and getting an interception.
Of course, Shelby needed a first down to win this thing and run the timeout with a 27-24 lead. Alan, I'll ask you first and then come back to Coach Norman about the formation. He splits both of his halfbacks out wide, puts his fullback in a halfback position on 4th and 8, a formation that I don't think we've seen all season long. So he pulls one out of the playbook to get a big first down late in the game.
You're referring to the pitch to Larry Raper around the right side, where you get the fastest guy you got going. It's at the snap, catching the ball on a dead run, and you got some horses out there in front of him. Not a bad idea.
Coach, it looked like a Canadian Football League play. How long y'all been working on that one?
Well, we actually ran that back a few weeks ago. I believe we actually ran that formation against Burns, but it's just something you don't add anything new, but you might dust something off once in a while this time of the year. So we worked on that every week and got a few wrinkles off that set. But it was felt like a good time with everybody bunched up inside and didn't need to try to get a first down. Obviously, you didn't want to kick off to them again if you didn't have to, but they were out of timeouts. Get the first down. If you get the first down, pretty much the game's over.
And, of course, after that first down, Shelby was able to take the old victory formation, take a knee, a couple of Daryl Montgomery kneel downs, and the ball game was over. 27-24 the final. When we come back on our final segment of Armchair Quarterback, we'll just talk a little bit about the entire season and wrap things up for this year. When we do come back on Armchair Quarterback, Coach Chris Norman joining us from Shelby High School, the Golden Lions finishing off a 16-0 season. So the first group to go undefeated since going into the association back in the 70s, Coach, and the first team that Shelby's had undefeated and win a state championship since the 72 bunch. Won that Western Association title. That's got to feel pretty special for you to finish off a 16-0 season.
Well, no doubt. That's something that's not going to happen a lot in a career, I can promise you, and particularly with the competition that we go up against every week. But it's a special group of seniors, special group of young people on the team, and I'm real happy for them.
Of course, talked about last night on the post-game show, Alan, that we're looking for an opponent, North Meck, moving off the schedule next year. Right now, we've got an open week, so even if Shelby were to run the table again next year, they wouldn't match this year's group. It'd only be 15-0, but Coach Norman has got a group that he's going to have to rebuild a little bit. He's losing a lot of seniors off his group.
Anytime you have a senior-laden team and that you've been, and some of those guys have played 3 and even a couple of them 4 years with them, there's no substitute for that kind of experience and that confidence that gives the rest of the team, having people you can depend on who've been through the wars before.
Of course, Andy, we kind of made comments that early in the season that East Rutherford must have lost 40 seniors to go from Western finals or Western semifinals last year to winning one football game this year. But it just goes to show you that when you lose a lot of talent, sometimes there's the cupboard's not full behind the door there.
It really isn't, and the Cavaliers certainly told that story this year, but I don't think it's going to be that way for Shelby. They'll be pretty competitive.
Well, yeah, Coach, I don't want to put you on the spot there either, but it is. You're going to have a number. When you talk about losing 24 seniors, and a lot of these guys, as Alan mentioned, Lamont Carpenter, Daryl Montgomery, these are guys that have been with you not just for a couple of years, but been with you for 3 and 4 years, and you're going to have to replace some of these kids, and it'll be difficult.
Oh, it will, but again, you go out there each year, July. End of July, 1st of August when football starts, and you take what you got and you try to figure out what their personality of that team is going to be and what your offensive lineman can do. That usually dictates what you do offensively. This year we were a little more of a power team because we were a little bit bigger, and the year before last we threw the ball a little bit more because we had different type of receivers and more speed guys as opposed to possession guys. So we'll do the same next year. We'll line up and early and probably look bad, and hopefully the kids will continue to buy into it and work hard and get better each week.
Well, that's 9 seasons in the books for Coach Chris Norman, 3 state championships already. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's going to be wrapping us up, I guess, for this season. Carolina Panthers looked horrible today. We're filming this on Sunday this week. 6-7 now, behind 3 or 4 teams for the playoff race. The Super Bowl preseason favorite, I don't even think is going to make it, so we won't even waste any time about that. But, Alan, I know that people have been on your case because we have not said anything about Appalachian, but the Mountaineers, again, moving on to the national championship picture next Saturday. They'll try to win back-to-back national championships.
And it's amazing, up to about last year, there were still a lot of people that didn't think Jerry Moore could coach. And, he just shows you a guy that does the job the right way and keeps plugging away, gets it done, and now he's having some rewards for it.
Andy, of course, Appalachian, Armani Edwards, the freshman quarterback, since they put him in the lineup, he's just gotten better and better, and I know against Youngstown State on Saturday, he was just unbelievable.
He is one more super athlete and going to be a key for the Mountaineers in that championship game.
Coach, you got any comments on Appalachian? I know some of your staff big ASU fans.
Coach Ware's an Appalachian graduate, and I know he's planning on going up for the game in Chattanooga on Friday. But Coach Moore and them, like Alan said, they do a great job, and we wish them the best of luck.
All right, so that's Appalachian State going for a national championship next Saturday in Chattanooga, Tennessee, looking to go back-to-back like the Golden Lions, except on the national level. That's going to do it for this season of Armchair Quarterback. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next season.